Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Paladins Evie's Winter Classic. We're here today for North America. My name is Rainday, and of course, I'm joined by my buddy, my co-caster, my friend Hi-Rez, pretty here. We're here to take you through the action of today, and of course, Evie's Winter Classic is in its second week. EU was excellent yesterday, but let's take a look at the standings and the bracket for what is going to be going on here. You see here the standings for where everyone is. Actually, this says EU, but this is for NA. Astral Authority is finding themselves with 100 points, Virtu at 60, ZeNTTRiiX at 10, and the rest following suit. But Nick, where's Lo-Rez?
Yeah, so Lo-Rez, unfortunately, they were not able to keep fielding these 3 of the 5 main members of their roster. They made some pretty major switch-ups here, so they have lost all their points. But, you know, this is a long-term goal for me. So this is, I think, in the benefit of the team long-term to get the right players on the roster and get that practice, get that synergy, starting building sooner rather than later.
Don't go for the easy pickings here. Wait and sow the seeds for your ultimate victory. Let's head into the bracket for today and see exactly where these teams will be in terms of facing each other. As we mentioned, Astral Authority will be facing up against Lo-Rez, and following that on the other side of the bracket, Virtu will be going against ZeNTTRiiX. We've seen a lot of these two teams, Astral Authority and Virtu specifically, battling it out. They're really fun to watch. We saw a lot of interesting engagements with Bomb King and Evie particularly.
Yeah, Astral Authority, the team formerly known as Fabri, they're going to be squaring off against Lo-Rez. Clearly, Lo-Rez with the roster swaps have not slowed down or shown any signs of wanting to slow down here. They already made it to the semifinals here, ready to play. Astral Authority, though, the one to watch for me is going to be Evulli on that Bomb King.
Everyone knows the name. They know the champ. Let's get to the map screen and see where they've elected to not play. First of all, Timbermill and Ice Mines, pretty standard bans, both very strategy specific and obviously in many ways giving an edge to one team or another. Jaguar Fall is going to keep that edge minimal and force the two teams to play to their best the entire game in order to come out on first. Let's head into the champion draft and see exactly who they bring into the realm.
So first pick going to be Astral Authority here. The big question is, will the Bomb King go first or will he not? The big question also is, can Lo-Rez play it? Normally Fabri, now Astral Authority. This pick is something that's harder to play, and it's normally something that gives them a lot of room to draft because not a lot of teams can run it as effectively. And if you can't run it as effectively, it's just not worth taking away from Evulli if you can't play it yourself.
And that's a great point. And in many ways, that's Astral Authority's main strength in terms of drafting. They can take a first pick type choice and leave that at the bottom so that they can prioritize other members of their team, getting them stronger picks again and again consistently over the other counters on the enemy team. You see Lo-Rez following suit with Androxus and Fernando, and of course Astral Authority with only Makoa can now answer with 2 picks of their own, and Cassie the first one to be selected, following up with Shaolin.
Oh boy.
So 2 projectiles already, Nick. A lot of Haven on this team.
Yeah, so they picked the Makoa up before the Fernando, leaving him on the board. This leads me to believe they're going to want the Bomb King because one thing that they do very well is they can set up the traps on the ground, drop the sticky bombs on the ground, have the Makoa just hand deliver the free kills onto those traps here. Lo-Rez going to answer back with the Pip as their first selection of a healer. With every healer on the board, they go with the Pip and the Victor. Victor would pick. We didn't see it all yesterday.
This is a little surprising, actually. Well, North America and EU, typically they like different styles of play. You'll see EU favor one thing, and North America will favor the exact opposite, just because a lot of times things just, I don't know, across the pond, not all the ways connect. There hasn't been the best. But you see here, Evie getting selected outside of Bomb King. So Buck and Evie basically prioritized instead of the BK, which I got to say is surprising probably a lot of people on stream and us as well a little bit.
Yeah, so the Evie is also one of Evulli's strengths as well.
That's
I think, as a player, why he shines so bright, because not a lot of other Blaster players can take the Bomb King away from him, but he's one that can take the Evie away from you. Every Blaster's got that Evie in their repertoire, but they don't all have the Bomb King.
No, they don't, but I tell you what, if they're going to have a win, they're going to need to extend their champion pool, and that is what Evulli has shown. He's did well in the 1v1 tournament. He showed he could play a lot of different champions there, and here you see Astral Authority. The lineup as follows: Madman on the Shaolin, Supersully, the Super Turtle on Makoa, PowTecH on Buck, iDropBodies on Cassie, a new addition to the team from Ardent, and Evulli will be on Evie.
For Lo-Rez Studio, almost said Lo-Rez Studios, just Lo-Rez for now. Fennex would play Fernando, Mayor will be on Androxus, ZeNTTRiiX on Victor, MrMCgrady on Pip, and M7T86 on Barricade. It's funny you mentioned the 1v1 tournament. Evulli actually beat PowTecH's Buck with his Evie, so they'll be competing against each other as well as Lo-Rez.
There's Evulli using the wormhole to just get a little bit of poke and blink back. This is so good for Evie. So many clumped up enemies who are just very low. He gets one shot, pops it off for 1200. He's looking for another. Fennex gets the kill. Actually gets killed thanks to Evulli. The double kill for Evulli. Looking for a triple, and he gets it. Swing batter, and that one gets hit out of the park. Evulli showing his Astral Authority right away at the beginning of this match.
15% already captured for them. They didn't even bother with the objective. Astral wanted to come in and make a statement there. Evulli coming through big for his team. Supersully landing the hooks as he always does. PowTecH getting poked out very low now, and the respawns are starting to return for Lo-Rez.
Buck is jumping back out, and Bomb King is nowhere to be seen, but it doesn't matter because Evulli is showing his prowess on multiple champions here. The Evie with the triple kill does go down, and now finally things have started to switch. Lo-Rez gaining a bit of momentum, and Pip could find the kill. This could be huge. Madman is very low in the corner, but Pip now finds himself in a bit of an issue himself. A nice jump onto the catwalk, going behind the scene. Buck is on his trail, though he doesn't catch him. The heal wasn't enough. The cooldown was not off, and so he goes down, and 96% looking to be a full capture for Astral Authority to take this 1-0 at the start.
They go up pretty quickly, 1-0 there. So PowTecH barely lived, ended up getting 2 kills in that engagement. iDropBodies, which we're following along with right now, ended up getting 2 of his own there, and a big play for me there was Supersully on the Makoa. We saw him just sitting under the shell shield, but I think what he was doing there was just completely blocking off that doorway for PowTecH to escape, who lived and then came back to have an impact, getting a kill in that fight.
I want to talk a little bit too about iDropBodies, his addition to this team. He's been one that has obviously shown he has skill. I played against him in some of my videos, in some of my ranked games, and this guy caught my eye from the very beginning. He's now on the Cassie, which is one of his premier champions, as well as the Androxus. Nick, how do you think he's going to fit in this new lineup?
I definitely think with all the firepower that they already have, you know, we talk a lot about Evulli, but right now following on with Madman here and PowTecH, those are 2 very good, consistent. When I think of consistency, I also think of Madman, who was, I believe, their Cassie player, kind of now filling into that Shaolin role. With just so much to fall back on, whoever you focus on Astral Authority, there's going to be 2 star players to pick up the slack.
They're looking like a very strong team. I know their goal is not to come in here and mess around. They ain't trying to dilly-dally on their Sunday afternoon. They want the wins, and although the pillar will stop them at the moment, the continuation of the fight will not leave Fernando with any respite, and his shield is going down. And soon his life bar will be the same, but not before the Vulpine falls to the turtle. The hook is strong, and the shell spin as well, healing himself up potentially a little bit there. Not sure if he has that card in his loadout. Nick, the Makoa expert over me, and there it is. You see, he doesn't even need it. 42 health, no healing necessary, buddy. I'll do it at the bare bones, and 2-0 goes Astral Authority.
120 health here. So the big thing they're watching Supersully, one of the better Makoas here in the scene currently. Quick shout out to that 16 streak on PowTecH. I see you. But Supersully, the one keeping him alive in that one fight there. But at the end there, the presence of mind, Fernando is on him the whole time. He's already below 1,000 health, has the presence of mind to stick on the Barrack. That is the kill that they're all focusing right now. And then as soon as he's about to drop to critical HP and be taken out, lands the hook on Fernando to stop the flow of damage, and the rest of his team cleans him up. Supersully lives with about 120 there. Beautiful stuff. Now coming out with the Cauterize 2. Buck on PowTecH on Buck has the Cauterize 2 as well, just prioritizing the wreckers as far as what Madman's going to be grabbing. Body's got some of that. Evulli's got some of that. This Fernando already going to become irrelevant here with these Wrecker 2s online.
Really interesting to see teams not prioritizing defense. It's kind of going against the grain, but of course, they've been going against the grain ever since then, and already a 4v5, but what matters is more that they've got chickens to fry, and Androxus is in the air. He wants one more. Mayo looking to do his thing, and yeah, I call him Mayo. He's a buddy of mine. And whether you call him May or Mayo, he gets a double kill. iDropBodies, though, ends that, and he goes and gets himself another kill onto the Androxus. So Bodies already showing his worth for Astral Authority after being picked up this first week of him playing, and PowTecH is continuing, despite dying in earlier, he's continuing to show the aggressiveness and the necessary damage that his flank role requires.
So I think overall in that first engagement there, they went 2 for 3 in favor of Astral Authority. Now Lo-Rez, granted, did get a lot of capture progress here, almost 90%, but Lo-Rez dropped 2 ultimates there. We saw the Dome Shield, actually 3. We saw the Dome Shield, the Accursed Arm, and the Evil Mojo. Astral Authority, I don't think dropped anything. Just now popping that Desert Wind there on the Shaolin, going to go invisible for a time being.
What a beautiful play, too, as well. You talk about just being efficient. Without the ultimates, he just gets this perfect jump, lands in headshots immediately to send the tank back on Lo-Rez. So now fighting without a tank, all there is an Androxus, and that's going to be an objective captured for Astral Authority one more time. They are looking stronger than ever, and I know Evulli and the boys, PowTecH, Madman, iDropBodies, and Supersully, they don't want to take their foot off the gas pedal. They want to keep this going. The Wormhole card paying dividends, healing him up, sending him over into the edge, allowing him to poke his enemies off and continue to wreak havoc.
Has the Ice Storm available, will drop it onto 2, gets both tanks so quickly here. Drop bodies in position. Everyone on Astral Authority knows what they need to be doing here in this fight. Going 2 for 3 thus far now in the engagement. Minute 53 remaining on the push of Evulli here. Very dangerous, but will be able to get the Soar out to safety.
That Soar is so crucial for Evie's mobility. The ice block giving her the immunity to everything you could think of, including ultimates, including Sky's time bomb, which is just so OP. Everybody knows that. But also allowing her that crucial time for her blink to come back and be available. And now there is a minute and 30 seconds left onto the push, and it's almost converted. They've 3-0, and this will secure the game. Another hook by Supersully is just showing how strong he is on this champion. There's a reason I call him the Super Turtleneck, and he's showing why.
Every hook is a kill with this team. Astral Authority, they got the Evie who's swinging for 1,200 after the blink. They got the Cassie who's swinging for a minimum of 700. Shaolin who's going to be hitting you for 1,000. Makoa's hitting you for 1,000. They are all following up on these hooks. This is a kill every single time Supersully lands the hook, which is off cooldown. Yeah, basically, he hits every single hook. This is such a deadly pick. We see why it was picked first for them.
I just love the way that you see Astral Authority continue to not only win these fights, but push the advantage they have. A lot of teams, especially when you're in the lower end of like kind of losing, not feeling as confident, will win a fight and they'll sit on the point. They'll get as many points as they can without being confident enough to really aggress onto the enemy team. And you don't see that with Astral Authority. They just feel like they found a rhythm. They're not hesitating at all. I love seeing this gameplay from them.
Heading over to the stat screen, crazy, crazy damage coming out from everyone here. Evulli getting a little bit better of the PowTecH there in the 1v1 flank competition there, but Supersully, great hooks coming out from that game, setting up his team. Easy damage for drop bodies, 39k, 43k for Madman, 35k for Evulli here. Just easy pickings across the board.
Didn't seem like the draft paid dividends for them. The synergy wasn't necessarily there, and despite having a very tanky lineup, I'm not sure if this really worked for me. The pip stood out to you. We'll see if they go that same way again. Let's head to the map screen and see where they'll play game 2.
So Jaguar Falls had just been played. So this pip pick for me, I still to this day, I think on paper, one of the most impactful ults potentially there with the Evil Mojo. So with that though, we only saw like one of those, right? We only saw one of those come out and really have an impact or a swing moment on the fight. That was the fight where they dropped 3 ultimates and still lost the trade 2 for 3. They did get a lot of capture points here, but all things told, I don't know if it's really worth it.
I'm not sure either. We'll see if they elect to go a different route. The map will be Serpent Beach, and we will head into the champion draft right away. The pip, a bit of a contention point. We'll see if Astral Authority continue with selecting and not prioritizing the Bomb King again, even though Evulli has shown in previous weeks throughout the Challenger circuit all the way into the first week of the EVs Classic how dominant he is with that champion.
Yep, gonna go ahead and snag up that first pick, Makoa. We talked about the Bomb King and the Makoa combo. We got to look at what also we talked about. Every Blaster player is probably going to have an Evie in their repertoire, but not necessarily a Bomb King. We talked about how that gives Astral Authority a lot of room to draft.
That's true.
And if they can't have if there's no threat of the Bomb King being taken away from them, and you've got Evulli who can also play the Evie, and that will hurt Lo-Rez as well as help Astral Authority because he can play it, then they could go to that every game. We might not see a Bomb King. If that's going to work out for them, I don't see them, you know, it ain't broke.
Don't fix it, right? You can counter enemies' strategies by obviously picking those champions yourself, but you have to have the skills to be able to make them work. That's essentially what Nick's saying. And it has not shown that Astral Authority has been easily countered by anyone they've been facing so far. We'll see if they continue to progress throughout the weeks and play some bigger boys at the final stage of this. But Shaolin and Makoa continue to be prioritized for Astral Authorities. The Cassie came here last match in terms of the champion draft, and she will again. Yeah. So iDropBodies and Madman seemingly looking to find their comfort picks, as well as Supersully. Lo-Rez just giving them everything they want.
Yeah, but I like Lo-Rez. I believe they're adapting the draft here. You see they're picking up the Drogos here before the Fernando. And in this case, it's kind of it's them experimenting. They're leaving the Fernando on the table, saying, Astral Authority, are you going to take this? You know, they're first picking Makoa over here, so they know that's the tank that they want. And this is a good adaptation from Lo-Rez because that gives them more room to draft. It's doing exactly what we talked about Astral Authority can do with this Bomb King, taking the Drogos before the Fernando.
Well, now Astral Authority, it's almost a slap in the face. They take the Victor and they take the Pip, which didn't work on Lo-Rez. And all of a sudden you see Lo-Rez take the Buck and the Kinessa, which is very interesting. Victor is going to have a tough day if he is just getting spotted out by that Kinessa, but Sha-Lin can do a fantastic job of keeping pace with her. It's going to force her into a Haven because 2 shots without that Haven is actually going to kill her. Once you get Haven, it pushes her out of the 2-shot range, and that's everything she needs to survive for 1-1 transporter.
So Lo-Rez not picking Evie up is pretty interesting to me as well, because this backline from Astral Authority, DropBodies on Cassie, Madman on Victor, and Evulli on Sha-Lin, that is a very backline heavy, mid to long range. We're just going to take you down from downtown, and having no one to dive that, those are all characters that are pretty susceptible, I would think, to Evie diving them and 2-shotting them, but they don't pick it up.
I mean, Evulli, he could cause some trouble if they're respecting him. Maybe you don't. It's not a guaranteed win with Evie if Sha-Lin can see it coming. Those projectiles are very quick and accurate. But Madman, definitely easy target for her. So it is interesting. We'll see how the Buck and the Kinessa works out. ZeNTTRiiX and McGrady are looking to do something different here. All Havens on the side for Lo-Rez, and a little bit of a color variation, trying to go all the shades of the rainbow for Astral Authority there. Chronos, Cauterize, and a little bit more. They anticipate the left-hand flank, Nick, but it's not even close. It's a right-hand flank, but they're so far away, and no one has touched the capture point. I think they're racing. I think that's what might have just happened. The Serpent Beach has become a track, and they are trying to get it, but look at this. The pressure from Pip already. The Kinessa's in trouble. A transporter will do enough to keep her alive for a moment, but PowTecH so confident, and Supersully from downtown takes M7 out of his rhythm. And Evulli, although he falls to the damage over time, it seems that only a matter of time before Supersully is picking this Fernando off and finishing him as well.
Yep, returning now on the Buck, coming in with the heroic leap. Supersully in a rough spot here, gonna go down, gets the shell spin out for now. Doesn't have the hook available just yet, and will fall on the stairs. PowTecH forced to just retreat, heal up, and wait for his teammates. 39% for Lo-Rez here, only 6 for Astral Authority.
Lo-Rez is in a great spot right now. They're going to have to deal with this Kinessa and fast, because now they have to split their resources. They cannot all flank her because they've got to handle the point in the Fernando there. They need a lot of damage there, but the Kinessa's got the line of sight so well, she could poke out many of those champions, and it's 96%. No one's even touched it. Finally, Sully is there, and I don't think they have their ultimates ready, so that health pool is just what he's got. It's slowly ticking down, but he's actually going to be able to survive for a moment longer, but M7 is fully alive, and it looks like now the only person who can deal this is Bodies. Mayo takes the bow, an arrow to the head, excuse me, and they force the Kinessa away. And Nick, they did exactly what I said was so difficult. They've retaken this point.
This is close though, 99% for Lo-Rez. They just need to get them off here, and they will likely have to fight through an overtime, as well as Astral Authority are in complete control of the point right now. Body spots out the flank coming from the Drogos. The Impale arrow as well. This Drogos is already very low, sending him with his tail between his legs back over the wall.
And look at Bodies. He's looking to find one more. The accuracy from this man is incredible, but that's the benefit of being at 99%. You just have to step on it for 1 second. They forced the Cassie out of the engagement, and now she's getting pressured in the air by the Drogos, and that's all they needed, a bit of room, and Lo-Rez take the lead here at Serpent Beach 1-0. Now, Nick, one of the things I want to talk about is Bodies. His performance has been strong, but the second he stopped carrying and they forced him out, Astral Authority didn't have a chance here. Do you like their draft going into what Lo-Rez have picked up?
I'm okay with the draft so far. I want to see one more point fight play out here. They lost the first. It was kind of like an awkward thing. No one's plan really panned out there, and Lo-Rez kind of have the lower execution comp, I would say, with the Fernando, with the Buck. It's all like pretty fairly easy to stuff and land. But as you see Evulli here, when he's getting the space to go off on this Sha-Lin, picks up 3 kills in that last fight. And I think the first kill of that first team fight was very telling for me. So Evulli on the Madman takes out the Buck. And that was I was like, how is this matchup going to go? Because Buck doesn't do super well against Planet. He's got no hard peel, no hard CC, no way to get away from that. After he jumps in on Evulli, hopefully he will adjust and stop doing it. Evulli can go straight into Planet and just go toe-to-toe with him and win that fight every time, especially picking up that life rip first.
That's right, and he's got the life rip. So what will be interesting is if he's also comboed that with Grounded, which is a card that allows Shaolin to actually heal up to 200 of health per second as he goes into Planted. And that gives, if you've got those extended, kind of fights, gives you a little bit of sustain to outtrade your opponent. Not sure what he's picked up yet, so we'll have to see next time we go and follow Shaolin in the camera. But I do believe that Madman has done what he needs to do as this victor. He's a sitting duck for a lot of these targets, Nick, but he's just not been able to die until just recently on a 5 streak. Until he was taken out a moment ago.
Yeah, Proj doing a good job here on this Victor, using a lot of that mobility with the boosters here to get around the map and capitalize, almost filling that Evie role. They're getting above the Victor, taking him out, staying above them all, and they don't really have a great answer for taking somebody out of the skies like that, especially when he's moving as fast as Drogoz does in the air.
That's right, and look at this Buck ultimate, just wasted. He buys time, so they're gonna get out of the point, but look at that.
There's the planted man against the Buck.
MrMCgrady, see you later. I feel like that's like a teacher in a youth novel. I don't know what that is
Tracy
about.
McGrady's playing Paladins in his retirement.
Tracy McGrady's playing Paladins? Oh my God. He's about to dunk on him, and he's playing Buck, so that'll be really nice in terms of highlights. But you see Shaolin with the help of Planet and his long-range damage, he is going to help his team, Astral Authority, defend and tie this up despite losing the initial point fight.
And he is running that sustain card and Planet like you were mentioning there, so he is going to be very difficult to take down for that Buck while he is in Planted here. And you asked me if I like this comp, and I really do. They won a lot of fights in the interim there while they were trying to push the payload. I believe only losing one there. Lo-Rez was close, but this is a relatively short payload push here on Serpent B, so wasn't that close, all things told for this map. They hadn't even rounded the corner yet.
And it's interesting too. Talk about the Haven, the Blast Shields. They seem to not respect PowTecH on the pip. That's going to give them free reign because everyone else is Haven on the side of Astral Authority.
It's not so much a lack of respect. It's more of Evulli's on Shaolin. Bodies is on Cassie. We got Sully on Makoa, and then we have our Victor here as well. There's just 4 other Haven more dangerous threats. Pip doesn't do as much damage as these characters.
That's right. Not caring too much about Madman's grenade, which would also be mitigated by Blast Shields as well. So a couple of different options that could have provided, but not worrying about that. Proj going in onto the Supersully. The Turtle will have to fight another day, and the Fireball is going to do some damage to iDropBodies, force him out of the fight. Lo-Rez again with a very strong advantage, though Bodies the aim of a god is going to be able to hit that from long range, but so far the pressure from Mayo proves too strong, and the Adroxus flank will take out the damage champ Cassie on the side of Astral Authority. And though they seem to get themselves into a position to fight now with Madman at 104 health, they've turned things around despite Lo-Rez having an advantage earlier on.
He lived there. Madman, you could tell there was some indecision whether or not he wanted to fight or whether he wanted to just get out, but there was really nobody on him, so he had the wherewithal there to just keep going in, just making sure he wasn't in anyone's line of sight and put in that damage. If you have 1 health or you got full health, you will still do the same amount of damage.
That's true. Whilst you do no damage if you're dead, as we say. And there it is, the Fernando. He goes in onto the Supersully, but he doesn't realize it's the greatest bait of all time. He's going to go back to 10K health and drop to 5, and he goes a little bit lower than that. But there it is, 4,600 will still leave the Turtle with plenty to work with. The hook is not going to do anything, but it's enough to scare the Fernando around the corner and get him out of the fight. And Astral Authority, because of that pressure, take the point and go ahead 2-1.
Yeah, doing a great job there. Getting so much done off the back of the Ancient Rage. Can buy so much time for your team. Madman picked up 2 kills there with all of the room that Supersully is out here creating with this Makoa. And we're seeing the distance they're already clearing here. They're in no rush to lose this fight. They're coming up on halfway with this payload push, almost to where Lo-Rez made it overall in the last round, still with 2 minutes to remain.
He doesn't need to use the hook because, well,
look at this peel.
It's off
Look at that
but
peel,
that
man.
peel is beautiful. The awareness of the shell to keep him and his teammates safe is what separates one of, I think, a very good Makoa to a great Makoa. And Sully is shown that he knows this champion in and out. And Proj, surfing the map, giving us a good aerial view. This isn't a camera. This is Drogo's perspective here as he's moving all around the map with this incredible flight speed and ability for Drogos to flank enemies.
So one thing I noticed a lot with Drogos yesterday is that they struggled to get their Dragon Punches off and not die. And I believe Astral Authority have a great comp to take out the Drogos if he ever comes and tries to Dragon Punch Sully. Again, Victor pumps a lot of DPS out. Cassie, one shot from Cassie and one shot from Shaolin is going to be nearly all of Drogos' health and give them a lot of opportunity to take him out using that emote there to gain a third-person perspective here. A little bit of a stall coming out from Astral Authority.
And now Bodies has the scent of the dragon, and so does the Volpine. They know he's up there. They're going to come chase him in a moment, but I'm not sure if Prod just stiffed it out. There he is, but he gets hooked down by Makoa!
That's the follow-up,
See you later. Sully is so good, and just the pressure of Bodies and PowTecH collapsing onto him forces Drogos into a place where Sully can then hook him. It's perfect. That reversal's gonna hurt a lot. Mayo gets a double kill there, and that's really good for Lo-Rez Studios. The Androxus is feeling himself, finding some rhythm. Praj is still back, but Evulli can win this easily, but Praj will get a double of his own and secure that this payload is not going anywhere, at least anytime soon. 19 seconds on the clock still, and man, they've got a big battle ahead of themselves, and a fast one at that if they're gonna push this within the next 10 seconds. They might just give it up.
It might be unlikely here. No one's really within range. Actually looks like Sully's trying to get in there right now on that Makoa. Doesn't have the Ancient Rage available to him though, so it will be difficult. They are so close, so Sully's gonna have to put himself in a bad spot. He will go down fairly quickly there, and now they're just feeding credits at this point. So we are all tied up 2-2 here, heading in this next round. Taking a look at some of the items, starting to respond with some life rips of their own is Praj on the Drogos and ZeNTTRiiX on the Kinessa. Now these are good luxury pickups because Drogos and Kinessa hit so hard per shot. Praj is at life rip 2, stealing 20% of his 1100 post boost rockets. He is going to be sustaining, doing everything all on his own.
He's going to be getting more than a little bit of more than 200 damage health back off of those shots. He's going to be very good sustaining in the air. A lot of times he's fighting and combating players as he's doing so, and he can stay alive for quite a while. Drogos can be tricky, and that damage and that healing is potentially going to pay dividends in this next fight. We have to see exactly where the Kinessa lands up. She's going to be a difference maker here. She goes right onto the point.
Okay.
She'd rather be protected, and she knows the flank is coming. That's the safest place to be. I like the decision there. And it looks like Supersully does get taken, takes down Praj in the process of flight. And though the Kinessa has stayed safe, their main blaster has not, but neither is Bodies. Kinessa coming in. Headhunter could be activated, but she doesn't want to get hooked. Thank God Supersully missed there. It will extend the sniper's life now, and Supersully has to get off the point, or rather he's going to be easy cannon fodder. PowTecH trying to smell it out, but he can't cross the distance without becoming very, very visible to the Kinessa line of sight. And so they're playing very patiently, Nick. Kinessa had a lot of room to go onto the point there, but she didn't seem to know where anyone from Astral Authority was.
Yeah, she's playing a little bit scared right now. You can see just always twitching around to her corners, trying to figure out where the next person comes from. But meanwhile, she's going to get knocked off the high ground. Astral Authority already 99% on this capture. Fernando's there trying to stall for as long as she can. Finds a good sight line onto the point, but the Ancient Rage is here to stall.
Nice. Immortal is going to stall. Give some time. No healing, though. Barrage is going to come in, get a little bit of life rip rocket, and allow Fernando to escape. The buck is going to be the next point of contact, and Sully's going to get the kill. The shell spin will help him out, but he will go down thanks to Mayo. Mayo will fall as well thanks to PowTecH, and so it looks like 99% for Astral Authority is going to have to wait just a moment. Lo-Rez Studios are there. The hand of the Kinessa make enough of an impact. Her and Praj are the ones it's up to. She got to get this kill on PowTecH, and she can't. The Carbine will not follow it up, and Sully's back, and that's bad news for anyone on Lo-Rez Studios.
Overtime ticking once again. Evulli in the backline. Here's the evil mojo to put a stop to that take-back attempt here. Astral Authority gonna confirm that point capture. Now up 3-2 in a position to close out this second game.
I like the way that they went back and forth on that, Nick, but it seems that despite Lo-Rez with the initial advantage, Astral Authority have figured out how to address the Kinessa and are making her play scared. Sully playing with so much confidence. They're respecting the hooks, and they're respecting his positioning, maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, Evulli's positioning always pretty risky here. You see him, he's got that flanker state of mind, even on that Shaolin. He's coming in from the defensive side, catching people by surprise. It's not a bad idea as long as Lo-Rez don't adjust to it, don't catch on to it. See Praj in a little bit of a rough spot, trying to do the same thing Evulli does, but gets taken out. Evulli He's taken down to the back line as well. ZeNTTRiiX going to overextend for that one and be punished.
Wow, and the interesting thing, too, going into this is you see Madman still on a streak. He's being very, very effective as a Victor, though, despite the fact that he could be a target of a lot of aggression from the Buck, even from the Drogos. He's staying alive longer than one would anticipate and being very impactful in this fight. Sully, again, just providing so much to his team, forcing Mayo to continuously sidestep and duck into corners, afraid of being pulled. And now Evulli, ready to follow up with an Impale, is going to help slay MrMCgrady. And now, with the Accursed Arm coming out, Mayo will get the kill onto the Turtle, which is what he needed. A reversal instinctively will save him until he turns to the side and allows Madman to sneak a few extra Russian bullets into the back of his head. And there it is, Drogos following suit, revenging his Russian comrade.
That's right, they're getting a lot done there, putting a stop to the push with the Buck Wild. One thing I really like coming out of Astral Authority is they always seem to be on the same page with who the target is.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is something that it can really pay dividends. I like to quote Enemy with Smite. You know, Payne Divion, he brought a bunch of brand new young players there. Weren't the most experienced on land, but he knew they would always follow the call. And even if you're a gold player, you could play at a platinum or even a diamond level as long as you're following the calls 110% all the time.
Yep, that's so important too, because it just means that, again, like you mentioned even earlier, Makoa and the hooks, 5 people shooting off of that hook means an instant kill. If it's just Makoa, well, they might get off. We saw it yesterday. That happened so much, and Bonker stayed alive and was so effective, and that turned the game. There's no chance of not having success here on Astral Authority with Sully's hooks, and it seems here the game will be completed. 4-2 is the final score, and game 2 goes the way of Astral Authority. So fantastic performance by them. But again, we mentioned it, the synergy for Astral Authority, it just seems there. They are working as a unit, and they are looking like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, everybody can play every pick, it feels like, too. So this time we see Evulli on the Shaolin, Bodies, you know, switching off, and Madman as well. Everybody can do everything in terms of the damage champions there. So it shifts, gives them so much room to draft. There's so much range and depth in this team's champion pool in terms of what they can pull off.
Yeah, and they're going to pull it off again. One more game is all they need, unless Lo-Rez have something to say about it. So far, they haven't. Let's take a look at the post-game stats. 120,000 shielding, remarkable stuff from M7, but it wasn't enough sustain to keep him and his team in a position to win. Mayo having a decent job there on the Androxus with 42K, and of course the Kinessa wasn't exactly shut down. But Praj really showing that he had a good sight with this.
So this
Drogos.
is a pick that's working out for them. 82,000 damage here on the Drogos, and it's one of those great picks that can kind of operate on its own. Like I said, with the life rip, he's sustaining himself. He's got the mobility to keep himself safe. Doesn't need a ton of peel. Doesn't need a lot of help confirming his damage here. So this is something I would like to see them continue to pick up and continue to lean on. You
know, it does seem like MrMCgrady might have been the odd man out there. 15 and 19, 34K damage, bottom of all those stats. Let's take a look at the map screen and see if McGrady continues to select something and where he'll select it. Fish Market is the location, so this will open up a lot of line of sights and a lot of open range. Buck could do a little bit better potentially on this map, but it all depends. Not if you're getting hooked by Sully.
Not against Makoa and not against Evulli's Shaolin there. I think the planted, you know, with or without Sully's hook is just going to be too strong, too easy for Evulli. Evulli plays Bomb King. He can hit his shots, man.
Yeah.
Like that, Buck is just too easy of a target for him to get planted on.
Big body, and good looking one at that.
Big body's ready to drop.
He works out, man. Big body's ready to drop because of iDropBodies.
Got it? You got that?
Oh,
nice.
yeah, I got it.
That's my boy.
That was good. Ow. All right, Astral Authority. They're looking. Astral Authority, you know, they're looking to get their next pick here. Makoa is actually going to be selected again, so Sully just feeling so confident.
I've never seen that.
Lo-Rez needs to take one of the Cassie or the Shaolin away, otherwise they're going to get their comfort picks again. And again, it's not even comfort picks, Nick. It's comfort picks in a row. It's like, okay, sometimes you're not the best Kinessa, but if you go 30-0 on a Kinessa and have a great game, next game, it's going to be that much easier to replicate that because you're in rhythm. And now they grab Cassie and Drogos, which I like. Take it away from Bodies, but that's going to leave Androxus on the table for them as well.
It does. We haven't seen Astral Authority pick that up just yet. We'll see that they're kind of sitting on these thinking about where they want to go now. Lo-Rez has done a good job, I think, every game adapting to the draft here. Cassie is being so impactful against them. They're sticking to the Drogos. They haven't grabbed the Fernando yet, which is good because they've seen that Astral Authority just doesn't want it. But like you mentioned, here's the Androxus and here's the Evie.
Evie and Androxus selected, so you would imagine Evulli will be back on the Winter Witch. And now Fernando is going to be selected for Lo-Rez Studios. Following suit will be Pip. So they didn't like PowTecH on that, or rather they have a strategy in mind. And Pip is very good.
Both of these teams love Pip.
And continuously, I think, shown to be more successful when there's easy follow-up on his ultimate. And Drogos can definitely apply that. Cassie can definitely apply that. Fernando can definitely apply that. And they do, with that, though, give up the buck and the shot land. But whoa, Nick, what's that?
That is a Ruckus being hovered on and locked in. So
wow.
It's a...
Cool.
Honestly, I like it. So
yeah.
This is why I like it. There is 3 flanks on the side of Astral Authority. Flanks, obviously, characters that want to find those isolated targets. Buck and Evie in particular do not do well against clumped up targets, aside from Ice Storm, obviously, you know, that works well against the clump. But Evie herself is so squishy, it's very dangerous for her to get in there on the clump. And now Fernando and Ruckus with the Pip healing is going to combine to be a very formidable point control composition.
They will have great point control and great ultimate pressure. My thing is that without taking the Ying here, I don't know if they force Madman and Bodies to get cauterized. I don't know if cauterize becomes the effect because Ruckus is so easily countered with Wrecker. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Only 2 pick up cauterize. They could have really let the Ruckus live a lot longer if they forced a cauterize from a main healer who just was so hard to counter with all of those clones, even a Maldamba. So the Pip pick is a bit odd for me. I'm not sure if that's going to work out, but we'll have to see.
With the target focus that Astral Authority have, I feel like one cauterize could do the job because the one target they've called out is always going to be cauterized and focused.
Yeah, that's true. And Pip, obviously that single burst healing, if he can negate that, that could really stop his lifetime there. But already the zone is very strong. If Evulli can hit one of these on a Ruckus, it could be a big deal. But he's missed all of them. He goes in for the blink, takes a little bit of poke himself, but Fernando is body blocking, thankfully. But the Ruckus is almost dead, and Evulli from long range gets the kill onto Ruckus, and that's all he needed. There was just so much wide space and nobody willing to go out and flank him. And McGrady goes down on the Pip as well, and just like that, despite 63% being towards Lo-Rez on the capture objective, 33% and counting with an impressive zone coming forward is on the board for Astral Authority.
You know, we said Evie doesn't do well against clumped opponents there, and part of one of Evie's weaknesses is her slow projectile speed. But against a Ruckus, who's not really moving that much, Evulli's just playing that long-range artillery-style Evie.
Right.
And those things hit as hard as they do, 1,200 damage after the blink, and whether you're 1 feet away or whether you're 100 feet away.
That's right, and you can also shut down, I mean, just looking at this, the Pip here, 99%. Evulli is having a field day, just shooting targets from long range. It just must be fun being Evulli in this game right now. He's had no pressure, and he's doing whatever he wants. 99% is going to turn to 100 and leave Astral Authority in the lead of this game, Nate. But, I mean, the Pip, do you really think this was the pick they needed to support this Ruckus comp?
He pulls out good healing here. He's got a great ultimate on paper, but he's just getting flanked and spanked right now. Here comes the Ice Storm, a little bit off the mark now. Still able to move in range of that Ruckus. He's just moved so slow here. Not even close for Evulli. iDropBodies finds 2 kills in that engagement while Evulli kites around. Barrage on the Drogos in the back line, finds a nice pop shot onto him. This kill will likely just be cleaned up.
He wants to get it, and he's wasting a little bit of time, but not really. Barrage is the one who's being circled around, and so he's going to try to find one.
You see that? Sully misses the hook. Madman just sees the hook go and just immediately let loose the slot. That is what I'm talking about here with Astral Authority. They are always ready to make that play off of the hook. I just love that blind following coming out from Madman.
McGrady's had a tough time on the Vulpine. Mayo's trying to fight, but iDropBodies is on the champion he probably prefers most, and that is Androxus. He is on a 13 streak right now. This man's aim is strong, and he can go ahead and make sure that you get damaged when he wants. He's just got the impressive reactions to make anybody just wonder, is he aimbotting? I can tell you, I met him in person. He's not. This guy is just a god with Androxus, and he's dropping more bodies. A 17 streak for this man, and Astral Authority are looking like a team to beat.
That is correct here. So looking at some of these items, that Fernando shield already went down quick. Bodies is out with the record 2, Madman with the record 2, Evulli with the record 2. One shot from each of those champions is going to do a number on that Fernando shield. Bodies already getting into that morale boost here to try and have an impact. Having that accursed arm up 15% more often will do him well. Cauterized 2s as well on the board. Lo-Rez, a little strapped for credits over here. Just one defense card and a luxury kill to heal for the Cassie, but they are definitely being defeated here in the economy. Only one kill on the board for them.
I do like the way that
one kill.
They've still fought despite not having.
Homeboy's on a 17 streak right now. Just let that sink in.
But think about this. If they do tend to wind this up, that 17 streak will turn into a lot of credits, a lot of ultimate charge for these players on Lo-Rez. So if they can get the win, they're going to be important. Man. But Bodies is just unrelenting in his pressure. There it is. It looks like an Ice Storm onto the point. Bodies is finding the pip, and Madman finishes the kill, but McGrady goes down nonetheless, despite whether it's the Androxus, whether it's the Shaolin. You are getting hit with something, my friend. And PowTecH, Madman, and Bodies look to zone once more and get them off their horses and force them into a precarious scenario where they're most likely going to die before even contesting. Hexifier is forced from long distance, and that is just to say, get the heck out of here. Let me get back to this fight. But Astral Authority, despite backing up, won't let him do it, and Bodies will drop him again. 3-0. Very easily for
that's a frustration ultimate there if I've ever seen one coming out. Not really a lot of targets there. It was a Buck, an Evie, and a Shaolin. Very mobile targets there to try and hit with that long range, especially right now. And the zone is just so strong right now. This is a 3v5 rolling out, trading 1-for-1 though.
I mean, this is actually a map that I think a lot of players don't like to play, because if you do win the initial point fight, it's very difficult to get back out there if the zone comes forward and they're aggressive about it. And they have been. Astral Authority are confident. They like themselves going forward in this 3v5 because they feel that they can trust Madman and PowTecH and Bodies to get the job done. And it looks like they're continuing to do so. Praj flying up in the air and trying to find a bit of a consolation prize at this moment unless things get drastically different. They've had no opportunities for this Drogos to get online, although he is on a 2 streak with the ultimate ready. It could change the game, but it's not going to have enough chance to do so. Evulli takes him out.
Yeah, but now he's free reign in the backline. Ancient Rage buying a lot of time distraction. They focused the Makoa and were punished for it. Evulli cleaning up those kills alongside PowTecH. Now moving out to forward zone here, and that one pick onto the Drogos was so big because then you just see Evulli in the backline uncontested right now.
He must have immediately got
he
out.
was trying to just reactionary block that rocket and then move out, but he just came out a little bit too early, I would imagine, and ended up eating the rocket. Oh, here's a couple ultimates coming out. Dragon Punch looking for something.
Okay, this could be something here. Praj going in. He's going to get a kill. And could this be the turnaround, the moment that Lo-Rez needed? Bodies, he's going down. It looks like the Fernando is going to take him to the base. And there it is. Evulli is the only one left. Fernando with the pressure. He didn't expect that she would wormhole so quickly. Turns around and doesn't catch her again. But all of a sudden, 33 seconds left, and Lo-Rez are showing signs of life.
You still have a couple ultimates to push with Ice Storm, Accursed Arm, and the heat vision there for the Shaolin coming out. 20 seconds remaining. Sully, a bit of a rough spot, has the shell shield available to him for now. 2 people up in the air. Here's the Ice Storm. Can they follow it up?
This is what they need. Immortal comes out from Fernando. He's going to save the life for a moment. And MC, M7, and Praj will get the kills on the PowTecH. ZeNTTRiiX and Sully will fall. So 2 of the tanks on both sides will go down. But this will benefit Lo-Rez here because the Fernando's still up, and they're going to be able to defend. So this game, despite our beliefs, is not over just yet. Lo-Rez have something to say about it.
Praj here, picking up a lot of the slack here, finding many kills in all these engagements, sitting 8-8, 4 times the amount of kills of anyone else on his team. I guess you could say the amount of kills the rest of his team has combined here on this Drogos alone. Now with that life rip, going to be that much more scary here, unless Sully can just hook him out of the sky and follow it up, going with the Master Riding here to combat ZeNTTRiiX's Master Riding.
There's ultimate charges on the board as well for Pip, and we can't forget that that fight often went the way, I am predicting, went the way heavily for Lo-Rez because of the fact that they were able to get extra ultimate charge, extra credits off of killing players with such high streaks. Every single player on the side of Astral Authority gave those huge streak bonuses away and has really evened up this game for Lo-Rez. It's their moment now to fight back, and it's going to be up to McGrady, who's been picked off consistently. He's healing his team, and I like the awareness of mind that he's showing to be at that spot. Madman's getting pressured out very heavily here. Will he go down? Bodies takes down Praj, and M7 takes down Madman, and can she stay alive? Not without PowTecH following Sully's been on the board, and they take him down so quickly. This is looking really good right now for Lo-Rez. Sully is down, and 3 of their members are actually going to be off, but Fernando has left himself to face PowTecH and Bodies at the same time. Just a little bit more flame will do it. That'll secure the kill on Andro, and now he's staggered from the rest of Astral Authority.
Astral Authority doing a great job keeping Proj out of this fight. He was the first one to fall in the first fight, returns here after respawning and falls immediately again, focused out by Evulli here, who is now distracting 2 in the back line very effectively, gets the 1v1 over the Ruckus there, has the Ice Storm for more zoning, double kill, and the conversion of the point there. They're capping that one, closing out this series 3-0.
Game over, series over. Astral Authority will move on to the next round and find themselves to face whoever comes out of the lower side of the bracket. Let's take a look and see exactly who they might be facing in this final series of the Evies Winter Classic Week 2 for North America. Virtu and ZeNTTRiiX will be facing off in your next match broadcast here on twitch.tv/Paladins game after Astral Authority sweep the floor with Lo-Rez despite a good valiant effort at the end and take that series very convincingly, saying that they are the team to beat this week.
Yeah, 4-0 on Jaguar Falls, 4-2 on Serpent Beach, and a clean 4-1 on Fishing Village for Astral Authorities. Like Evan mentioned, though, Vertu and ZeNTTRiiX will be your second matchup of the day.
Yeah, and so we've got a culmination of great events happening towards the end of this event as we get towards the finals. But there's still a lot of good stuff happening right now. In chat, you can go ahead and type !giveaway and find yourself an opportunity to win some more free stuff. We're giving away crystal codes to those of you who want some extra Paladins Evie skins. You want some of that Christmas chest, you can go ahead and win some of those crystals by entering into that giveaway. We've got some great things happening. Of course, Virtu and ZeNTTRiiX coming up next. Don't go anywhere on twitch.tv/Paladins game. We'll see you in a sec.